for you later today. Plus, Simon from Liquality is also joining us today to give an update on their latest developments that regards to Sovryn. So we'll be with him also later. Now you probably noticed that there is no guitar or rap today, and that's because we would like to be formalizing these calls more and phasing out these music intros for a monologue format or having a more produced musical intro. If you have any good ideas, suggestions, anything that you've made and would like to send our way, have at it and just send it to us. If it's good and we use it, you're going to get rewarded in SOV. And of course, we always love things that our community create for us. We're all in this together, obviously. So again, thank you for joining us here. Thank you for sharing this mission. The guidelines are, again, if you'd like to speak, just unmute yourself, wait patiently, and we're going to get you to talk. All right. So I guess, Iago, we're going to start with you.
Thank you very much, Judas. So what I'd like to talk about today is a feeling that I have, and I think a lot of people are having. And the feeling is that I think we're at a particular junction point in the lifetime of the project, which is at once one of the most exciting times for the project, but also one of the most frustrating times for the project. An imperfect analogy, I think, is the rocket is on the rocket launch pad, and now we are checking to make sure that everything is working properly, and we're going through the checklist. And so there's this really, really exciting thing that we're about to do, which is launch a rocket. But we're in the process of, polishing the metal. We've got people, checking the bureaucracy of, are the bolts in their right place? We're doing the fueling. We're doing the frustrating, annoying stuff. And I think that's exactly where we are right now. There are huge amounts of features that have been built out, which I think you're all aware of, so I won't repeat that. And yet the system is not feature complete. In particular, there are two very exciting things that are coming. So I think there are basically four things which are missing before we can launch. And what I mean by launch is be ready for mass adoption. And I think basically four components that are not complete for mass adoption. One is we're not feature complete. In particular, we don't have the Bitcoin-backed stablecoins ready. We don't have the perpetual futures ready. And we just launched Fast BTC, but we want to get it to a point that it can manage and handle large. And so we're gradually ramping that up. We're in a position now where both perp swaps, the perp futures, and the Bitcoin-backed stablecoin, Nuestro, the Mynt, and Zero are all effectively feature complete. But we're in the process of the checklisting to make sure we can launch them properly. And once we have that, then we have the different components that we believe and pointed out as necessary for the for creating the economy, which would be the minimal viable economy that we need. Second thing that isn't ready for mass adoption is that the interface, I think, has improved a huge deal, but still isn't easy enough to use for people who haven't used DeFi before, people who are not used to utilizing decentralized systems. We want to make the onboarding easier. We want to make the interface much easier and less crowded. We want to better name things. We want to make it easier to get funds on and off, and that includes Bitcoin, it includes fiat, and it includes the bridges. And then there's not enough liquidity for us to be able to manage the volume and size of trades that we want, particularly on margin trading. And so we're in the process of putting together some partnerships which will bring substantially more liquidity, like almost an order of magnitude more liquidity to the system. And then finally, here's the issue of website and brand. I think we have a very, very strong vision for what Sovryn is, and I think most of the people on this call probably understand what it is. But explaining it to the world in a world where people have short attention spans and where what we're doing is extremely unusual, that requires time and effort for us to properly articulate and then make it really, really easy for anyone to understand, and then create the beautiful website and the beautiful content and the content sort of marketing that goes with it to make all of that ready. Doing all of these things at once is a recipe for not giving any of them the amount of love that they need. And so we are in the process of going through this checklist now to get ready for mass adoption, to get ready for launch. And that's what makes this a frustrating moment. And the people I'm talking to most right now are the community managers, but I think we're all community managers to one degree or another. We're all the community. We all are representatives of the community. And I think we probably are all getting a certain set of questions again and again and again. And I wanted to address those questions. So before I address those questions, I want to say that, I think we have one of the most phenomenal communities, that I've experienced in the crypto space or anywhere. And in particular, the people who have volunteered their time as community managers are doing a phenomenal job. They're the ones who keep on having to answer the same questions again and again and again. And what that question is all the questions that start with when, right? So when Binance, when roadmap, when marketing, when zero, when are we out of alpha? When, right? That's the frustration and the excitement talking at once. And I think it's so tempting to want to give an answer which is definitive that sometimes we do. And when we do, it's a mistake. So what I would like to propose is that I think our answer needs to be, or maybe I should say what it shouldn't be. I don't think it should be soon, even though I think it's soon, right? But what does soon mean? I don't think we should be giving dates that we're not sure that we can handle. I think what we should say is what we believe, which is that these things will happen when we are ready. So we're working as hard as we can to get them ready, as fast as we can, but they will not happen until we are ready. And ready means polished. Ready means ready for launch. Ready means that when we launch, we don't explode in our faces, we explode upon the world, right? Ready means ready for mass adoption. And so I think, I want to thank the community managers who have been doing an amazingly great job, and all of us who are, spending time answering questions and dealing with it, and say, I think we are now at a point where we need to be confident enough and mature enough to say, all right, we are at a very exciting time, but it's also a very frustrating time. So the answer that we need to give ourselves is we're going to do things. We're going to take the time to do them properly to make sure that we now launch properly. And when will it be ready? When it's ready. So that's all I wanted to say. And you'll hear more about, the progress that we're making over the course of this call.
Thank you very much, Iago. We'll go over the agenda and make questions in the end for everyone. Okay, guys? So next, Aurora.
Hey, guys. There's always something from me. So Judas already mentioned it in the beginning. We had quite a busy start in the month, and since the last call, we had a couple of deployments. Almost bi-directional fast BTC, currently still with a 0.05 Bitcoin transfer limit, which we are hoping to increase. Now, I'm not saying soon because we're not saying soon anymore, but which is going to be gradually increased. We also, 1 week later, we updated the rewards page, which made it possible to claim the SOV tokens from the fee sharing contract and also claim Mynt, which is leading to the next point on the list, which is the Mynt airdrop, which happened to Mynt holders, and the first of 12 distributions to stakers. And last but not least, we updated the rollover reward so that it's no longer taking a flexible percentage fee, but it's a flat fee, which that's what happened in the last 2 weeks. It's just already a lot, but we're looking to launch much more the next weeks. So next in the pipeline are the perp swap trading competition, which is scheduled to launch next week. And the big margin trading update, which includes a margin page redesign. It includes additional functionality, limit orders, and finally also notification services, which allows you to receive an email about liquidation events, if your orders get filled, or also margin calls if the price drops and your positions become endangered. So I will leave it at this today and just really focus on what we launched and what you launch next. And so I do not have to repeat myself so many times with status updates about the different community cards. So I think that's it then today from my side.
Thank you very much, Aurora. All right, now we have the long homecoming Sue. We missed you a lot, buddy, and I'm sure everyone wants to hear what you have to say.
Hey, yeah, guys, it's great to be back. Sorry I was away for so long. Had a holiday and then I got COVID. Don't wish that on anyone. Yeah, it's been actually quite good getting back. One of the things that I was presented with from Sun Wukong was the first version of the first issue of the comic book. It's currently been inked. I can't wait to read episode 2. Actually, I read the script of it. I can't wait to read the episode 3. But yeah, we just need to work out with the marketing team how they want to get that out, and I hope to have that at the end of the month, if not the beginning of next month. What we're working on at the moment is we're working on updates to the borrow page. This will bring some good functionality that is really needed, well, much needed functionality. It will allow you to add collateral to your position to stop you from getting liquidated. It will also allow you, when you're opening your loan, to choose your rollover date. So instead of having the default 28 days that we have at the moment, you can put in whatever you want. What that means is, as you approach the rollover date, we also have the feature now that you can extend your rollover date. So you can either pay for that extension out of your collateral or adding to the position. So that should be very useful, especially because there's a lot of functionality basically to stop you from getting liquidated. We've also been working on a update for the portfolio page. Ultimately, it will become an account section. If you've been around for a while, you might have heard me talk about it previously. But the first part of that will be the update of the portfolio page that will bring the account section into being. When that gets updated, we will be updating the way that you bring in assets and take assets out of the system. If anyone's got any suggestions for how we name that, taking into account some of it's bridging, some of it might be wanting just to send to another wallet on the same chain, please put your comments in the user feedback channel. I'll be more than happy to read through those. But essentially what it would be is, instead of having to go to each asset to bring it in or take it out of the system, there'll be one place where you go to, and then you can choose what you want to do with whichever asset and whichever chain. Further than that, currently we're developing, to go on what Yago was talking about with the onboarding experience, we've been creating a frequently asked section interface that works on every page of the DApp. So there'll be a button in the right-hand corner that you click on. It will bring up a modal, and in that it will have all of the relevant questions. I believe it might even host small video tutorials and everything to do with the relevant page. So everything that you need to know about any of the pages on the DApp, you won't have to go anywhere. You can access all that information from inside the DApp on the relevant page that you're on. And the only other thing that we're working on is we're currently doing investigation into mobile app. That's everything from me.
All right, Sue, thank you very much. And again, glad to have you back, that you're feeling well. Malva, you're next on the list, so go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Thanks, Judith. Thanks, Yago, for the intro. So yeah, hi, guys. So I'll run through mainly what kind of based off what Yago was talking about, and particularly from the adoption team, more focusing on the marketing team, is that up until now, recently, we've been focused on maybe Twitter, doing Twitter Spaces, some sponsorships, working with some external agencies, Instagram blogs and stuff like that. And all of it really is kind of tactics, but no real strategy behind it. So what I've been doing for the last few months, and I suppose what people are getting frustrated with, is kind of not seeing the marketing strategy plan, which I will present in a couple of weeks to everyone in detail. So please bear with me on that. But wanting to build the fundamentals before we go big on marketing, as Yago said. So there's kind of 6 big fundamentals that I want to get in place and set up before we go big on marketing. And they are as follows: the brand. So working with Sue and the team, building out the mature brand, making the experience a bit more professional and polished when you interact with anything Sovryn. And how we do this, working on a brand strategy, mainly around how we better communicate who we are and what we stand for. You know, as Yago said, I think we all know why we're here, why we're part of this protocol and this project, but communicating that out to the wider world is something we haven't been great at, and that's what's a big focus here. Then next is really who our audience is, and more importantly, who it's not. And we've worked with, in the past, before Christmas, a few, let's say, YouTube influencers that may or may not harm the brand of Sovryn, and we want to pick those people carefully about who we want to work with in the future. And all that kind of leads to a new improved website. I know we've had some troubles with the interim website that has actually been interim for a little too long. We have some wireframes done up already for the website. The new website will hopefully be launched very, very soon in the coming months, but that's a big, big project. And if you look at, for example, Stacks or any big platform that they just did a new website, it's a big project that we really want to get right. And we really want to go out with a really, really good message on the website. So that's already in progress. 3, the next big thing is support. And it's improving the support we give our users, especially the community managers, and giving them the tools to do excellent support. At the moment, we kind of do most of our support through Telegram and Discord, and eventually through a ticketing system built on Freshdesk. But if you look at this Discord and Telegram, the community managers are the kind of front edge, the front soldiers of the Sovryn project, and they answer the same questions over and over and over again. So we want to help them out and give them the tools to clear up repetitive questions and let them kind of be community managers. So I suppose I'm working closely with the GIMP and Scotty G of implementing Intercom, and then really, really reorganizing the wiki so we can collect all the information and make it much easier for users to find information. And that, as I said, frees up the community managers to actually build the community rather than putting out fires. So as we know, the last couple of months has been probably most difficult on those guys, mainly probably down to adoption team not explaining stuff correctly. So a lot of traffic has gone through the support of Telegram and Discord, so we want to make that much better. So support is number 3 in the big things I want to get done before we go big. Next is kind of learning ourselves of what people are doing when they land on the website and when they go to the DApp. So up until recently, we had not much data on what people are doing anywhere. So we've implemented full Matamo, a tool called Matamo, on the website. And now we're talking with Betsy and Max and people internally, the engineers, of how we kind of create proper end-to-end attribution analytics for people. For example, if we have a Twitter campaign or blog post or Twitter space, someone comes from Twitter, lands on the website, connects their wallet, does some action in the DApp, that we can track all that and see what's working and what's not. So we're looking into tools like Mixpanel, Amplitude for like detailed granular analytics in the DApp, as well as integrating that with the Graph and Redash, always bearing in mind that we want to keep our user data private. So we're working on that at the moment. So that's another big project. Number 5, education. So educate people about Sovryn, how to use the DApp. Hansiko's been doing great tutorials up to now on how to do margin trading, how to borrow, how to lend. This is another big project that coexists with the support project that we're doing up a document now and getting all the FAQs that could ever be asked about Sovryn the DApp and get a plan together about creating videos, articles, working with Hansiko and French Victory and getting those videos out. So that's a big project as well, with ultimately creating like a Sovryn Academy, not necessarily just about Sovryn using our product or our platform, but also extra things about maybe becoming a Sovryn individual in the real world, how to manage your keys, how to use hardware wallets, really become the go-to place for people to learn about being a Sovryn individual and living on a Bitcoin standard. And then last but not least is really grow the community. So we've looked at a lot of tools over the last few months about ambassador programs and referrals. So working closely with the GIMP on this one, and hopefully in the next few weeks, chatting to all the community managers to get a proper and a really robust ambassador referral program up, and we'll just reward people for being in the project, be it with swag or any other thing. Not that we need it, but it's always good to get some rewards for all the work we've been doing, particularly the community managers. And I suppose in recap, they're the kind of fundamental things that I've been working at and the adoption has been working at. That's kind of behind the scenes, and a lot of new tools and software being used that we're just getting trained up on. So the brand, the website, the support, the education, the analytics, and growing the community. So I definitely see the comments in the chats and stuff, and I know people are getting frustrated, and it's probably my fault for not communicating what the plan is. So I'm sorry for that. But in the next couple of weeks, I want to put together a detailed go-to-market strategy for 2022 for Sovryn and get people's feedback and get people involved, and then hopefully we can go from there and make this 2022 an amazing year for Sovryn the protocol. So that's it for me, Judas. If anyone has questions, I'm here. I'll chat after this call, obviously, but ping me on Discord, no problem. I'm happy to jump on calls with anyone to chat through this.
All right. Thank you very much, Malva. And Gumar, since we know your microphone is working, you can go ahead, buddy.
Yep. Okay, it works now. Okay, thank you very much. So just a handful of updates. SOV is almost fully integrated with Fireblocks, which will enable much more exchange listings, so that's good news. We're still exploring the possibility of working with other bridges so that assets can trade on more of the EVM chains. Haven't found an option that we're like totally fired up about yet, but we're still in our research process. We had our first call with a very crypto-friendly bank with multiple licenses. We discussed the use of the XUSD and RBTC lending pools in their backend for their customers. We discussed fiat on-ramping and off-ramping stablecoins. So we had our first call with a crypto-friendly bank. We discussed the use of lending for its users, as well as fiat on-ramping and off-ramping, and also with the possibility of including using Zero as a potential fiat lending backend to their lending dollars. And I'm also working with IOV Labs to put together a DeFi offerings deck for funds that want to put their Bitcoin and stablecoins to work. So those are my main updates.
That truly sounds amazing to me. Thank you very much for that update, Ingolandia. And I think we can do like a few minutes for questions for the Sovryn team, and then we'll go to Simon from Liquality with his update and questions from the audience. So go ahead, guys. Just feel free to unmute yourselves and ask your questions. Okay, I see we don't have so many questions. So I guess we can move on to Simon and then have all the questions in the end, should there be any. Simon?
Hey, thank you for having me, and it's great to be back on the Sovryn community calls.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, awesome. So what I wanted to do today was just provide a quick update on what we've been working on in Liquality as it relates to Sovryn and RSK. RSK and Sovryn are one of our top priorities for the Liquality wallet. We've always felt incredible amounts of support from the Sovryn community, and so we want to continue growing that relationship. So I'll give you some of the things that we've worked on in this past release. We fixed a lot of bugs when it comes to Sovryn dApp connection, so that's working really seamlessly. And we've also changed the way that dApp injection works for the wallet in general. So Liquality is a multi-chain wallet. We support 9 different chains today, of course, including RSK. And we changed our dApp injection to be at front and center in the home screen. So if you go to the top right now of the Liquality wallet, it's much easier to pick which chain you want to be on. And we've also added an auto detect feature. This is actually a really cool one. And so if you're using multiple different chains and you go to Sovryn, the wallet, it knows already that Sovryn is an RSK dApp, so it'll prompt you to connect on RSK. I think this is a unique feature that no other wallet has, and we'll continue expanding on this. The idea is to make multi-chain injection incredibly easy. And then the other thing that we've been working on is that we integrated the Sovryn AMM into the Liquality wallet. And so if you go to our swap function today, you can swap Sovryn tokens like Mynt or Babelfish or SOV using the Sovryn AMM directly in the wallet. It's currently in production, undergoing stress testing. We'll do a formal announcement soon and share back to the community on some stats and how people are using it. And then what's coming next? We have a lot of really cool features that we're integrating into the wallet. So currently we have, of course, our cross-chain swaps between Bitcoin and our Bitcoin, and we also supported FastBTC on the peg-in. And so as FastBTC rolls out on the two-way peg, we'll integrate that as well. So you'll have both options of the Liquality cross-chain swaps as well as the two-way FastBTC directly in the wallet with one click. So you can deposit your Bitcoin and go in or go out into Bitcoin. And then we're working on something that we call Liquality boosts. So Liquality has this specific capability that it can do multi-chain transactions in one user click. So what we're doing is we're combining the cross-chain swap with the Sovryn AMM to do essentially, you can go from any native asset that we support, so any native chain like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Terra, Binance Smart Chain, all the way to an RSK based token using the Sovryn AMM and a cross-chain swap combined. So essentially what it'll do, the wallet will do a cross-chain swap. Let's say you're going from Bitcoin to Mynt. And so the wallet will do a cross-chain swap of Bitcoin to RBTC and then use the Sovryn AMM to go from RBTC to Mynt. All of that will happen in one click for you. And so that's something really cool we're working on, and we'll be releasing probably in the next release, which is in 2 weeks. We're also working to integrate Transact as a fiat on-ramp provider so that you can go from your bank accounts and different payment methods into crypto. And then we're improving our Ledger functionality so that you can use Ledger with all of your RSK and Sovryn applications. So that's the update for me. I'm here for any questions. Mostly, we want to hear from the Sovryn community. So these are things that we've implemented based on the feedback that we received from the Sovryn team as well as from Sovryn users. So please, either join our Discord. Feel free to ping me directly as well. We're here to, make your life easier, and so we want to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing this, Simon. I'm sure there are a lot of people here who are happy to hear that. And guys, if you have questions.
Looking forward to the update.
Yeah, Malva here, Simon. That sounds great. Maybe we can jump on a call maybe next week and give us a demo if possible, or whenever you're ready. That would be great.
I'd love to, yeah.
All right, Simon, we have a question here from YouTube. Hey guys, I've had trouble connecting Ledger to Equality to use the RSK derivation path. Have you tested that?
Yeah, that's right. So that was the last update that I had, is that we're aware of the Ledger issues, and we're working on the fix currently. I believe it should be out for sending and receiving sending and receiving using Ledger in the next release, which is this week, and then swapping will come shortly after.
All right, good. I guess we both missed it, so it's good to clear that up. All right, any more questions, guys? You can just unmute yourself. If you don't want to speak, you can just send them to me directly. Same guy also asking for Sovryn. Are we planning to add any stable pools? I guess that goes to Yago, XUSD to MOC, I guess. DOC?
Potentially, yes, but only when they're not the same asset. So, for example, allowing USD to be converted to Brazilian real or to, I don't know, Canadian dollars. That, yes, but a dollar to dollar, we will probably reroute the transaction automatically to Babelfish, because that system already does that very efficiently.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much. Go ahead, guys. That's your time to ask your questions.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Hi, this is Matt. Thanks for the great call. Just a question about, I didn't hear much about the Origins, the platform that there was a little bit confusion about what we're gonna do with the coin. Or is it gonna be a token? Is it not gonna be a token? Is there any update on that? And the same goes for Zero, basically the same question. If there's any update on how you guys plan to launch that. Thank you.
Yes, so it's been decided that we will not be launching a new token for either of those at this time.
Okay.
With regards to Origins, we're still working with the team on how we will work with them. And with regards to Zero, the goal here is to launch it as part of Sovryn core system. And if we do create a sub-protocol out of it, that would be at some point in the future.
Okay, great, thanks.
All right, I see we have another question here in the chat. What is the status from Exchequer on extension of liquid SOV rewards? Is it planned to keep it for the 3-month period or longer? I don't understand. It goes for a 3-month period. Is it planned to keep this in place as we prep and launch the rocket?
So the thing was that the SOV signal rewards were introduced as a at least temporary measure where Exchequer could decide if we would want to prolong it or not. So I think you were not yet part of the team when this launched, so probably reason for your confusion here.
Sorry.
Do not know if we did not discuss it yet, so I would assume that it continues. Which is a good point to just discuss and revisit.
Right. So we need to update the community on the official status, I guess. That's an action point for the next few days. I see the same. Hooligan asked in Galandia, There is a project called Depot, an aggregator working to be the platform for managing your assets across all chains and exchanges. They already have about 40% less fees for any token on ETH versus Uniswap. Possibly look into them for what you mentioned on the call. So, Englandia, it's all on the general chat. And W. Hooligan, thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Yep.
All right. Do we have any further questions? Where to find directions for staking my SOV? Joe Kelly, I'll make sure we'll send you a link on YouTube for that.